Welcome to the Stack Supplement Podcast, the premier source for supplement news and reviews.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of the Stack Supplement Podcast, where we go over all of the exciting stories and promising new products shared on our website at Stack3d.com from the past 7 days. We're going to kick the whole episode off with news from BSN for its protein bar Protein Crisp. Now, this product was launched a number of years ago, or a couple of years ago, and it has slowly become one of our favorite protein snacks on the market. It's a Rice Krispie style bar, which there are a few of them out there right now, but the BSN one is easily the best. And over the years, the company has expanded on the product and introduced more and more new flavors. And this past week, the company announced that details surfaced that the company is coming out with another Cold Stone flavor. Now, the Cold Stone series originally started with the BSN Synthesix protein powder. The company paired up with the ice cream company Cold Stone and come out with a series of flavors that were based on Cold Stone's signature creations. And the signature creations are sort of Cold Stone's basically signature sundaes and ice creams, and BSN created Synthesix flavors to be similar, or at least inspired by. Eventually, the brand expanded that series onto its protein bar Protein Crisp, which now has two of those Cold Stone flavors on the market. There's mint chocolate chip and birthday cake remix. This past week or last week, the brand details came out that they're actually adding a third one, which is the apple pie a la Cold Stone. Now, this is a flavor that's already out for the Synthesix protein powder, although the protein bar is going to be a very different experience, of course, being an edible snack. And the other detail we learned about this one is that we recently reviewed the caramel chocolate crunch protein crisp from BSN, and that bar actually has a unique little layer across the top of caramel, and now that's not something you get on any of the other flavors. And the new apple pie a la Cold Stone looks like it's also going to have that extra layer of flavor. Now, in the case of the caramel chocolate crunch, they just reinvigorated the entire bar. That one added an extra amount of flavor, an extra amount of sweetness that we just hadn't really experienced in any of the other flavors. And while the others a lot of them are pretty good, this one just kind of took it up a notch and really raised the bar for the protein snack. And so I'm excited that they are doing the same thing again with their new apple pie a la Cold Stone. From protein bars, we go across to another protein bar from a company called Own. And they're coming out to this is an all-new company. We shared them last week, and it's a very unique bar and basically how it was made. Now, on paper, it doesn't look, too different, or at least all that from anything else we'd seen. It's called the Own Protein Bar, not to be confused with the OWYN brand, who also makes a protein bar and protein powder. This is an all-new one. It's launching in January of next year, and they're going to start out with a protein bar. And this protein bar was developed with AI technology, or machine learning technology, which is a pretty cool little feature. It's they've used it on their marketing, and the way they worked is they took feedback and comments from beta testers, and then they used AI and machine learning to kind of figure out the right balance of macros, taste, and texture and fullness to come up with the result that they have. Now, while it's cool, this is a very cool idea. I have to say it's not something I've seen before. It's all well and good to use this, but it's going to all come down to how it actually tastes in the real world. We've had a lot of hype from a lot of protein bars over the years. Some have delivered. I would say actually very few have delivered. And there have been a lot that just didn't really live up to that hype. And while the implementation of AI kind of makes it sound cool, gonna have to wait to try this one to find out if it's any good. We'll let you know if we do get our hands on it, of course, being big protein snack, protein bar fans. But you can read all about the bar on the site. It's not available at the moment. As mentioned, it's launching in January of next year. You get 20 grams of protein per bar, 5 net carbs, a gram of sugar, 8 fat, and then 210 calories. It'll be launching in 3 flavors, peanut butter, chocolate, and coconut. And if you go to our site, there's actually a link. And it links to their site, and on their site they have like a little sign-up form. Now, if you sign up, you'll be notified when you can pre-order this product, but more importantly, you'll get a coupon code that'll, I think it saves you about, can't remember the exact percentage, but it basically drops it down to like $26 a box, which is much more reasonable, much more, I guess, compared to the other protein bars on the market. You get 12 bars per box, so it's closer to the competition, whereas the regular price that they have out there is apparently $33. So, of course, 26 sounds much better than that. We move from protein bars over to the gaming market. Now, the gaming supplement market has just been, it's always been kind of dominated, in my mind, by G Fuel. G Fuel is a energy and focus formula from the guys at Gamma Labs, who have had other supplements before, but G Fuel is very clearly what they're most known for. And over the past year, G Fuel has been partnering with individuals, ambassadors and whatnot to create their own G Fuel flavors. The most recent one was actually, they partnered with the streaming service Twitch, which is owned by Amazon, and they created a flavor called Sour Pixel Potion. And they launched that at TwitchCon, which actually went down, I think it was last weekend, maybe the weekend before, not that long ago. And so they've been on a roll with that, and now they announced what is probably going to be their biggest one so far, purely because of the popularity of the guy that they've teamed up with to make it. And that person, that individual, is PewDiePie. Now, if you don't know him, all you'll need to do is just go on YouTube, go on Instagram. The man he's known as sort of almost the king of YouTube, if not the king of YouTube. He doesn't have the most subscribers on YouTube. I think he has maybe second most. He's definitely up there. He has 100 million. And for an individual, that's very impressive. And he's been killing it on YouTube for years. And so they basically teamed up with him. I believe he's an ambassador. He's on the team in some shape or form. They announced earlier this year or last year that they teamed up with him. He has his own shaker already, so it was probably a matter of time before they made a G Fuel flavor for him. But they're coming out with his own the own official PewDiePie inspired flavor. They haven't said anything about it. They haven't revealed what it actually tastes like, what it's going to be. Although, being that this is in partnership with PewDiePie, I would have to imagine this is going to be something unique, something different, something that's just. Well, they have done unique flavors in the past. They did the Type O G Fuel with Code Vein, the game Code Vein, and they did the Hype Sauce, I think it was, with I can't remember. There was a studio, a design studio. So they've done unique G Fuels in the past, but I imagine this one is going to be definitely something special. The other good news is that this one's coming out later this month, so the wait is only about 3 weeks, roughly 3 weeks, to find out what it is and get your hands on it. But we'll keep you on the loop on that. Stay tuned as always to Stack3d.com. Now we go from all the way over to Europe for our next story, and this is one of our favorite functional food brands out there. It's Got7 Nutrition. Now, if you haven't seen Got7 Nutrition, you probably haven't followed Stack long enough. Now, we share their stuff all the time. We review their stuff as much as we can. It is Got7's a German-based brand, and they make just a mountain of different protein snacks and edibles and foods and whatnot, and they all taste amazing. I haven't had a snack or product from Got7 that didn't taste amazing. And the reason we have them back in the news this week is because last year they launched a advent calendar for Christmas. And this wasn't just any advent calendar. This thing is close to 4 feet tall, weighs around 11 pounds. So it's huge. It's huge to say the least. And they launched it last year, and it's about 45 euros, which is 50 US. So it's definitely a lot more expensive than your traditional advent calendar. But the reason it's expensive and the reason it's so big is because in the windows of each day, they don't have little chocolates, they don't have little snacks, they have full-size protein snacks. Now, last year, people who got the calendar would have been quite surprised. Not only do you get full-size snacks like bags of chips and protein bars, they also put in products that have not been released, that are not available. So the company does some pretty cool stuff. Last year we got our hands on them, and they had a keto, a high-fat block of chocolate, basically, that was almost exactly like keto. Sorry, not keto, exactly like a block of chocolate. high fat, low net carb, moderate protein. They also had a bounty-like protein bar, which is popular candy bar. It's coconut and chocolate, and this thing tasted exactly like it. They had protein truffles. They had new flavors of their chips. So they didn't sell you short on that calendar. They made sure you got your money's worth, and they're doing the same again for this year. So the calendar is back. It's got a blue color, or it's white and blue instead of red and blue. Sorry, red and white, and it will contain the same kind of thing. It's packs full-size products, full-size snacks, and there will be a bunch of things that are not yet available in there. You can pre-order it now, and it'll be shipping, I believe, later this month. You have to buy, I think it's only available for shipping within Europe. So if you're interested, head over to their site, or you can head to our site, type in GOT7, and we'll have more details, including a link to where you can get it from. Next up, we have, to finish off the podcast, we have stories from two big beverage brands. Now, the first comes from Bang, or the makers of Bang. They announced 2 new flavors of the Bang Keto Coffee. Now, the Bang Keto Coffee, if you haven't seen it before, is the brand's sort of protein, fat-infused beverage. It's similar to the original Bang, but alongside 300 milligrams of caffeine, you also get C8 MCTs, quality C8 MCTs, 20 grams of protein, and it's just an all-round. It's intended to be sort of like a more robust version, just a keto-friendly coffee kind of replacement. But last week the company announced that there are 2 new flavors. Now, we did know there was another flavor on the way. The company confirmed, I think it was in August, that they would be launching birthday cake bash for 5 products. I think it was the Bang Shot, the Bang Energy Drink, the Stoked Drink, Bang Keto Coffee, and the Bang Master Blaster pre-workout powder. And so we knew the birthday cake bash was coming for the Bang Keto Coffee, and that is obviously one of the 2 flavors announced last week. But the other one is one we didn't know was coming, and that's Chocolate Peanut Butter Blast. Now, at the moment, neither of these are available, but you can now pre-order them from the official Bang Energy website. That's linked on our site. Type in Bang, it'll take you to there. Or you can just go straight to their site, bang-energy.com. Now, our last story is probably one of the more exciting ones on the beverage market. And this is news that the Coca-Cola Energy Drink is finally coming to the US. Now, the giant beverage brand launched this thing earlier this year in Europe. It was launched in several European countries, including the UK region, and we were actually there around the time they launched and picked it up for about £1. It was at a supermarket. I can't remember the supermarket, but it was, like I said, it was £1. It was dirt cheap. We grabbed a whole bunch, and we were supremely disappointed. In an age where we see so many great tasting energy drinks, I thought, being Coke, that this thing is going to blow me away. Like, it's going to taste just like regular Coke, but with an energy twist. And what I ended up getting was not that classic Coke experience. In fact, it was far from it. So much to the point that we purchased, I think it was somewhere in the realm of like 10 cans, and we only had maybe 1 of each. We went half and half. There was a sugar version and a regular and a zero sugar version, and it was not what I was expecting, and more to the point, it just wasn't very enjoyable. And a lot of people reached out and kind of had the same opinion. It just wasn't what we were expecting. Now, the big news is that this energy drink is coming to the US, and what we don't know is whether or not it's going to taste the same. I haven't seen anything or heard anything that would suggest either way, so it's really up in the air. We'll find out, obviously, when it arrives, but it's going to feature pretty much the same kind of build and formula as the version in the UK and Europe. The US version will have it'll have caffeine at 114 milligrams per can, but the can will be slightly bigger at 250 mils. Now, that's a slightly higher dose in the UK version, although at the same time the UK version was in a smaller can. So sorry, actually the US version is going to be in a 12-ounce can, 355 mils. The UK version, or the European version, was 250 mils. So you get a bit more liquid with a bit more caffeine. Guarana is also going to be in the mix, B vitamins, and there's also going to be an actual flavor available. Now, the UK version we had was only available in regular and then a zero sugar option, neither of which we liked. But for the US, you're going to have a regular Coke, a zero sugar Coke, and then there's going to be a cherry Coke and a zero sugar cherry Coke. There's going to be a lot more options, and that is coming in January of next year. Coke was saying it's going to be available nationwide from the first month of the new year, so it's you're probably going to be able to find this thing everywhere. I have my fingers crossed for a different experience to the one I had in the UK. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, I'm excited to find out, what they've come up with, what they've put together. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that one. A few months away still, but very excited for that. Thank you again for tuning in to the Stack Supplement Podcast. We'll be back next week with no doubt more exciting news, but as always, stay tuned to the website at Stack3d.com for the latest and greatest in the supplement industry.